Hello and welcome to the Red Room. Our guests today are Legion of Myths, Heathendog and Max Liao. Welcome to the Red Room, people.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Already hit my mic.
So, I'm going to start by saying that I only started following your shows about 1 year ago, maybe one year and a half, when you started to devote most time of your shows to role-playing games. So I don't really know when you started, so I'm going to start by asking, how long have you been doing this YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel we started in, I was still in Illinois, so 2014. Right after we started that, I moved to Germany for the second time, and yeah, and so Heathendog and another guy kind of took over the reins of doing the live streams and the videos and so forth while I was over there, just acting as the producer behind the scenes.
Yeah,
when did I come in? Was it 2018?
15 or 16.
16? Yeah, it was October 2016, yeah.
So who started the channel?
The channel was started by me. It was started, so there were 3 people. So Legion Myth actually goes back to 2003. But as far as like YouTube goes, we're sitting around trying to figure out what to do with Legion Myth because some things had happened. We'd made some bad decisions of online friends, and we were like, we like watching YouTube videos. I was getting hooked on, at that time, Angry Joe, and I thought, this could be fun to do our own thing. And I talked to 2 others, Garthon and at the time Rooks, and we decided, hey, what the heck? Let's try to do this. And please don't watch those first videos.
You don't want that. It's painful.
No, it's difficult to get there. You have a lot of videos. I was trying to get to the beginning, but
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. I can send you the link. You don't want it though.
You don't want it. You don't want it. It's the whole
It probably will make us feel better.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fair.
No, it'll make you feel great.
Hold on. Here's Max
wow,
Liao in the first videos. Hi,
I'm a super professional.
my name is Max Liao, and I'm going to have a video today. That's my first video. Like, you don't want it.
It's very, very different. So
yeah,
from what is now. So what was going on before the channel? What was Legion of Myth before?
We were so we started off in 2003 as an MMORPG guild. And to be fair, I was not its first member, but I was the one that kind of stayed on longest. I was a day 2 member, and we were playing Shadowbane at the time. And something had happened with the politics of Shadowbane. We didn't like it, and we said, hey, we should go do our own thing. All right, fine, whatever. And then it kind of grew. It was supposed to be a World of Warcraft guild, but we ended up starting off in Star Wars Galaxies, and then World of Warcraft, EverQuest 2, et cetera, et cetera. We grew pretty decent size. And then those games kind of, people petered out. We're horrible at recruiting, always have been, always will be. So, getting new people in, although we did grow pretty well, is kind of like, we faded away, came back again under, I've always been around, so I've always kind of been, the head of it. But one of the guys named Oshi, he came back and said, why don't we do reviews and play video games and just do a whole bunch of other stuff instead of just focus on one thing? Sounds like a good idea. Then in 2013-ish, 14, 12, I don't know, somewhere around there, we merged with what was called the House Liao community for MechWarrior Online. That was a bad idea. So we'll just leave it at that. And then, yeah, we decided, forget all this nonsense. We're too old to play video games now. That's right. I said it. And we decided to do YouTube videos. So that's about as quick as I can make that.
Okay, so well, that explains the name. I was wondering why it was called Legion of Myth, but if it was
yeah, fair. Yeah, we kept the name because it's always been synonymous with me, and I own both the trademark and the website. So instead of spending more money on new stuff, I just kept the name.
So Max Liao is from the BattleTech.
Yes.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, okay. I remember that, the House Liao. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been Max Liao or Maximilian Liao on the internet since BBS's in like I think I started with BBS's 1989.
So what about Heathendog?
Oh, where Heathendog came from? It was an insult that my father used to give me, and I just owned it.
There you go. That's
cool.
That's how you handle that. That's perfect.
My dad just called me retards. So you're lucky.
Oh, there you go.
I own that.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. But yeah, so that's right. And then I came in Legion of Myth in 2016, and I did a guest spot reviewing an older game, Shadowrun, which I still love. And I've known Max since 99 or 2000.
No, it's got to be before then. It's got to be like.
Oh, no,
'cause
no,
you got,
you're right. No, it was 94, 95, 96.
Yeah.
96. No, since 96, we were stationed at Andrews Air Force Base together. We're both in the Air Force. And then I got out. He stayed a little longer. We didn't talk for a few years. And then.
Really?
Well, not regularly.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, who approached me
I think I
to
did.
come on the show? You did.
Well,
Yeah.
it was either me or the Garthon because Rooks had pretty much faded away. Didn't want to do it. And I definitely knew that Garthon needed somebody. I couldn't because by that point I was in Germany and it'd be 2, 3 in the morning for me. I couldn't do it. So I talked to Heathendog and see if he wanted to do it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. I was a little nervous about that, but it worked out great.
Yeah, and between 2016 and 2018 and a half, something like that.
What year are we in now?
Garthon
No,
and I,
2020, dude.
2020. Wow. Okay. Garthon and I did a show where we would split 3 ways. We would talk about tabletop RPGs, we would talk about anime, and we would talk about comics. Garthon would handle comics, and I handled tabletop role-playing games and anime. And I would switch off. 1 week would be anime, and 1 week would be tabletop RPGs. Now, it started off, I would do 3 anime a week and 1 tabletop RPG a week, and then that became way too much because I have to watch complete seasons of 3 different animes in a week. Because after a while, I'd gone through all the stuff I've already watched. So
and then
like,
parse it down into a 10-minute video or
exactly.
10-minute segment.
I gotta scale back on that. So what I did was for the tabletop RPGs, I would get a request or I would just choose one. And if I hadn't played it and didn't know it, I would spend Monday through Wednesday and sometimes into Thursday reading the book, cover to cover, making notes. And then I would spend Thursday and Friday and maybe some of Saturday creating a slideshow. Now, when I started, me and PowerPoint were not close. But at the end of that 2.5 years, PowerPoint and I, we were like this.
They got married. He is still trying to bring that relationship in.
We got married. It was great. PowerPoint loves me. I love it. But I'm not allowed to use it anymore because Max sucks.
I do.
But yeah, I would do a 30-minute segment on a tabletop RPG. I would start with the introduction to the game system, to the world, like the premise of the book. Like if it's a space opera, I would talk about the history of the world, what happened, was there an apocalypse, was there some kind of event that created the circumstance that the player characters find themselves in. And then the next 30-minute segment would be about the rules. You know, how are the mechanics? What dice do they use? How do they handle hits, misses, stuff like that. And then the third segment would usually be creating a character. You know, how do you create a character in this game? And if it had a life path generation where it'd be a random, you have a choice to do a random character, most of the time I would go through that. And you know, I had fun with it, but it didn't get a lot of views. So then Max decided, no, we're not getting enough views. We got to change direction. So now we have the RPG Digest, and it has 3 segments, all in the same live stream. The first segment is the tabletop role-playing game book of the day. What we're looking at of the day, and we bring out the book, and we if we've played it before, we share our experiences as we read it. If we haven't, we have questions like, what does this mean? Oh, it's on page this. Oh, okay. And we explain it to ourselves and to the audience. And then in segment 2, we talk about tabletop RPG society in general, what we like about it, what we don't like about it. any problems that have arisen, any big news that is coming up, stuff like that. And then in segment 3, anyone who's watching and has a microphone can come in and ask us questions directly or comments directly, and we will answer them, well, as directly as possible. And that's our format right now.
So Heathendog and Garthon were actually the impetus for segment 2. And I say that because, as Heathendog knows, because he had the mute button, the Legion with Weekly live stream, as the old one was called, was family friendly, because Garthon wouldn't have it any other way. And I get it, you know, yeah, it's comic books, it's anime. I'm not such a family friendly guy. So there'd be a few times that I'm on there and he would have, if you say one wrong thing, I will mute you, and, you know, all right, fine, my business, but I'll let you do that. But when we went to RPG Digest, because of the reviews that these guys were given on comic books, on anime, and the nonsense that was happening within the hobbies, and you know, of course, I started feeling it because I started, you know, involving myself back in the hobby. I was at a very good state professionally, where I could focus on this more. I was blown away with what had changed in the hobby. I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. I cannot keep this family friendly. I have things to say, and I need to know that people know I'm pissed off about it. So that's part of what RPG Digest is as well. And learning about comic books from Garthon, and learning about what was, you know, the shenanigans that's been going on and some of the other things, because they had a third segment as well, the RNG, the random generator, where they would talk about movie reviews and just throw out something on there. And I'm telling you, a lot of times they would make me really angry. I'm like, yell about this, and they wouldn't yell. I'm like, oh, I have to yell.
So this change happened because of other changes in the role-playing hobby, and probably not just the role-playing hobby, movies and all that.
Yes.
Segment 2, which is our take on the RPG universe as a whole, came about because Max Liao saw what was happening and decided, you know what, I'm not going to be silent about this. I got to talk about it, and it's not going to be family friendly. So Garthon stepped away, and I stayed as his foil, as much as I can to be logical and metered and measured, to try and you know, have him get all of the vitriol out of his system, all of the vinegar and piss and whatever, and then me bring everyone back down. This is what we're talking about. This is why, you know, be the logical one. But I will admit, sometimes he purposefully sometimes does not tell me what he's going to talk about, so he gets my real reaction to it. And sometimes something he's talking about is so stupid that I cannot be reasonable. It happens sometimes.
And it's hilarious because you'll make people more angry than I will, and I'm the one usually screaming.
He'll have to bring me down sometimes.
Yeah, I remember on the butthole video. The butthole.
Oh, the John Battle. Oh my God.
Yeah. I just call him Mr. Butthole.
Mr. Butthole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that incident. I mean, but that incident's a perfect example of what, you know. I look. I have to say this. I always have to have this disclaimer. I'm not leading anything. I'm not trying to fight a war. I'm not trying to charge into battle against whatever, you know, politics are out there, whatever. However, I just want people to know that there are other people standing up with you, because I get told on the side, Heathendog does as well, where we get told, like, you know what, good job, guys. I agree with you. Good. That's all I want people to know. And I want everybody else to know out there, there are a lot of people that don't agree with the nonsense that's happening in Hollywood and in, you know, and in culture. And to be fair, politics is downstream from culture. So, you know, what's happening in our games, it might just be dumb games. Yeah, you're right. It's a, what do I say? It's a game about playing, let's pretend, make believe, and playing with dolls. You know, it's like, it's just a game. But, you know, it is part of culture as well. It's part of our hobbies. And when people come into our hobbies and start, you know, stirring up the hornet's nest, for whatever reason, we were like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. I don't like this. I don't like what's going on, but okay. If this is what, okay, stop saying okay.
Yeah,
It's
I'm going to be
not okay.
quiet because I don't want to be the bad guy. So I'll just stay here and say nothing.
So I'm willing to be one of, not the, but one of the bad guys out there, so that more, and to be fair, we've talked some other people into making their own channels, and we've talked to other people about, you know, we're not big. I have no illusions that we're a big channel, but We're just another voice out there. So if we can add to the cacophony to stop the other cacophony, maybe we can come to either a balance or, hey, make them go away. I don't care.
But you have been growing, right?
Yes.
Since this change, I don't know how many followers you had, not followers, subscribers you had a year ago, but you probably.
Actually, I think we, in the last year, since we had the format change, we've actually tripled in size.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
to be fair, I won't get into it, but those numbers that we had previously, even when we got 1,000 or 1,500 subscribers, they weren't. So we've done more than triple our activity, our comments, everything as far as what YouTube would consider analytics. I think we're closer to like almost 8 times what we were before.
So there are people looking for channels and people who are opposing this nonsense in role-playing
Yes.
games.
And you know, that's why we have those 3 segments, because Heathendog and I talked about that. We wanted something that we could give that would be informative. Like, hey, let's talk about games. Not everybody's here for politics. Not everybody's here for this culture war. You know, so let's talk about games. We'll just do it in a little bit different format, a more relaxed format of we'll do it on a live stream. We're going to take our time with it. It's not a step-by-step process. We're going to talk to you and we're going to let chat talk to us, and we're going to kind of have a back and forth. Then we have the opinion side. So we bring you in with the information, we hit you with the emotion, and then we let you come and talk to us in segment 3.
Yeah, I think it works. I started watching because, well, your energy also is a bit contagious, so it works. It works from that. So.
But not on the live streams, because we are normally sleeping at that
Oh
time.
no, not that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and they are really big, so.
Yeah, that's also that. How can you keep up for so long?
Oh man, you should. His Friday streams sometimes go 6-8 hours long. It's crazy. I can't do that. That's nuts. I mean, 4 hours is pretty much my limit. But he can go 8 hours. He'll wreck his voice for the next day.
Oh, I do. Like even now, it's still a little scratchy from Friday and Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, but the reason is on the Friday thing, it keeps going. I like talking with our chat. One of the things that, you know, I didn't, generally speaking, people like to comment, and it's partially true. I don't like people. I don't like crowds. I don't like going to movies. I don't like dealing with nonsense out there. You know, I don't like people. That doesn't mean I can't like a person. It's not like, you know, the 4 of us couldn't be friends or something, but just, I don't like groups. And so I try to avoid people as much as possible, to the point where some people think I'm either crazy introverted or I'm standoffish or whatever word you want to put in there. But when it comes to the chat on YouTube, whether the person's arguing with me, like Dolly Pop, and I think everybody should follow Dolly Pop's channel, you know, she'll come and she'll argue with me. And, you know, then we'll have people who agree with us, me or us or whatever. Then there are times when Heathendog and we spar against each other. And, you know, sometimes people jump in, other times they clam up like, uh-oh, I think this might be the one that ends it all.
Mommy and Daddy are arguing. Oh, no,
Yeah.
we're going to hide the closet. No, it's not like that. Yeah,
Right.
As a matter of fact, about Palladium, which we're doing right now, in the last 4 weeks, I don't want to say at least once, but around once, during each of our live streams, we will have a disagreement where we were reading the rules and we are reading it completely different ways. I mean, every time he was wrong, but he would never back down.
I mean, to be fair, the last one, I wasn't trying to read the rules. I was trying to express. See, this is one of the things about the show that's important. We are reading the rules, yes. And Heathendog's 100% right about that. But it's also a discussion, whether it's a discussion with chat or discussion how you'd handle something, whatever. So I throw those things out there as well. And, you know, sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. You know, one of the arguments was, it's like, don't care what you say, but that's not what the rule says. I'm like, well, I don't like the rule. You know, it's like, well, you have to. That's what we're talking about.
I don't like the rule.
I don't, you know, but it's important to say that so that people out there in chat know we're not just regurgitating, because they can read the book as well. Go buy the book and read it. So when we're talking about this, it's good to have that disagreement so you can see that, you know, we don't always agree. We don't see things eye to eye, and you can play differently than both of us.
Yeah, and the important thing to understand is once you buy the book and it's yours, you can run it at your table however you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change a rule, you can change a rule. It's your table, do it. So in some respect, Max is right. If you see a rule that you don't like, you want to change it, and you're the game master, guess what? It gets changed.
Mhm.
That's it. That's fine. That's fine. It's just that when we're on segment 1 and we're reading the book, I like to stick to the rules as much as possible to not affect someone's to not color someone's idea of what the game is trying to say with what I'm trying to make the book say. I don't want that to happen.
And the good part about that is where Heathendog, like I have to sometimes pull Heathendog out of lecture mode, but sometimes he has to bring me back in. Like, hey, we're talking about this because I'll just go off on tangents. I'm like a squirrel.
Tangent somewhere. It'd be off in left field talking about something else. Like, dude, come on back. The reservation's here. Come on back. We're talking about the game. Stop it. So yeah, that happens sometimes too. Yeah.
That's one thing that I think it's strange. People who really stick to the rules and never change it. I usually don't care. I
He
learn the
just
rules,
ignores
but
the
then
rules.
I ignore them. I just ignore them all.
I've always said, as long as you're fair, you know, if you put a rule on me, it better be on Heathendog and it better be on the NPCs as well. That's the only thing I care. Hey, if you change the rule and it affects everybody, well, that's just how, like, as I call it, the physics of this world works. I'm good with that.
Yeah. And what I don't like is some game masters will change a rule in the middle of a game. You know, oh my God. Come on, we've already had 5 sessions of the rule this way, and now you're changing the rule. Sometimes it's warranted. If the game master sits down and said, listen, this particular power or this particular ability or this particular skill, I can't reconcile it. It seems to be broken. We need to change it to make it fit the game. And Max has experience
The alarm clock.
the taunt.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, but I changed that before we even started playing. I thought.
But that's the thing. It was some things are broken in a game and he wants to change it, and I get it. Okay, but make sure all the players are on board and everything will be okay. Now,
well, the alarm clock issue was the one that I was angry about when all of a sudden I played a cyborg in Rifts, and that's the game that Bob was running. And all of a sudden he's like, oh, I don't like the fact that you can just wake up when you want. So from now on, you have an alarm clock in your head and you must sleep between like 10 a.m. and 6 a.m. or whatever you set. You cannot wake up. I'm not a robot. I'm a cyborg. I have a brain still. But nope, you've got an alarm clock. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
We've never played Palladium games.
You never have. Well, then
never
watch our show. Damn it. No, but the whole thing about that is that it's a future dystopia where technology and magic are both present, like hyper technology and super duper magic, and you can actually replace the entire human body except for the brain and the brainstem and some of the spine, and put yourself into a super duper cyborg body. And well, you know,
you could get little plugs in your head and just go nuts.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff, but in this instance, you're still a person. You just have a robot body. And then the game master started putting more rules and more conditions and over and over and over. And when something happens like that, you feel like you're being singled out. You're like, why are you keep changing the rules just for me?
And now, already wasn't the most powerful character. The most powerful character in the group was the crazy.
And okay, we're not going to get into why they're called the crazy, but there's reasons.
Yeah.
But Miguel and Sylvia, I know Miguel is a creator, is a content creator, but Sylvia, I have literally no idea of your CV. I have no idea.
I'm just a boring person. Let's not talk about my CV. I'm a player and sometimes a game master. And if everything goes okay, there's gonna be something written by me, maybe this year.
Oh, you sound like Matt. he's in the trying to write, but it's not really working out.
2030, it might be done.
Yeah, it's already written. It just needs to be edited.
Oh, she's
thank you. Oh, for the love of God, thank you. You said my favorite word, editor.
Favorite word, edited. Yes, that, and you have brought up Max's biggest problem with games today. The biggest problem with games today, according to Max, and I'm kind of in agreement with him, not 100%, but I'm a lot of the way there, is that The
I
word
must say
they.
something now. I was watching before that, not watching. I was reading your essay about that pronouns, and I stopped and okay, I have to rewrite something. You're right.
Well, now to be fair, one of the things that I've been educated on, and I actually added it as a little blurb to that blog post, is I didn't actually know that in Canada and Australia, Queen's English has been doing it for a couple of decades. Like that changed a long time ago. I didn't know that. But yeah, in American English, well, I really can't argue it anymore because the actual legit manual of style has changed to accept that as well. But I feel it was done over activism. And I just point back to one thing. Anybody who grew up in the 80s knows that the word ain't was never, I mean, ain't in the dictionary. Ain't a word. Ain't fell in the paint. Whatever.
Well, it is now.
Well, yeah, but how many years did it take for it to get there? It wasn't like, I mean, people were saying it in the 1800s. It took over 100 years to put that stupid word in the dictionary. But somehow they in the singular, you must do it now. Wait, what? No. And I will just tell everybody out there, since this will be recorded later, if you look at Merriam-Webster today and look at the word he, H-E, 2 letters, it still says gender undefined. So there's nothing wrong with saying he in the singular.
Now
it gets really confused. Sorry, sometimes when it's in a news story, you don't know if they're talking about one person or two persons, a group.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell are they talking about?
Battle Lords of the 23rd century actually had some sort of sentence that went like this in the new version. When they do this, they get that, and this happens to them. I'm like, wait, stop, time out.
I have no idea who's in this sentence. The sentence is off the rails. Americans, I've noticed, have a problem using too many.
Oh yes, pronouns. We use way too many pronouns.
Too many pronouns. They're in their sentences, and too many commas. Instead of just rewriting the sentence to make it 2 sentences, you try and put like I have seen actual books with sentences with 4 commas in it. What the hell? So when you say I'm going to get the book edited, that's why he had this little mini joygasm.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't edit their stuff anymore,
or they self-edit,
or self-edit, which is not editing. It's just taking a second pass and making the same mistakes because you're the same person who wrote it last week, right? So how are you going to do something different? You're not. So, or I'm sorry, differently. You're not. There, thank you. Yeah, there you go.
1 month later, you maybe change something, but yeah, 1 week.
Yeah. You may find some glaring error, but your general writing style is still going to be the same. An editor, a fresh set of eyes, a professional can come behind you, fix up the major and minor grammar mistakes, turn that 4 comma sentence into 3 sentences like it's supposed to be. Get rid of a couple of theys and he's and thous and whatnot, and turn it into a he/she, he/she, or something else.
No, you just write it without it. I'm not telling Sylvia how to write her book, but I'm writing mine. I'm removing all of that. You are not going to see in the rules, when the necromancer casts this, he gets a +5. You're going to see when this is cast, the necromancer gets a +5. No pronouns are needed. Just, but again, I haven't done it in this version of my job since I've been back in the States, but previously to this, in my 3-4 jobs prior to this one, I was a technical writer. So I know how to do technical writing, and it really angers me when I see some of these books back there, and then some weirdo says, well, I write like I speak. No!
Especially if it's rules.
Exactly.
Yeah. It needs to be technical.
Exactly. When you're writing to convey information, the formality of the writing ensures the information is not diluted or changed from you to the recipient. That's what it's for. That's why you instead of speaking to someone casually, you write very clearly with more defined rules, so your point is not lost in some kind of regional dialect or some kind of miscommunication because of maybe it's a second language to the person reading it, so they're not going to get the colloquialisms or the idioms or whatever, so you're very clear and concise, and that's what it's for. But a lot of books don't.
You missed one. It's clear, concise, and accurate. Those are the 3 things.
But I just messed myself up because I got to show it. This is the worst book in the world. The worst book in the world for clear and concise information.
Oh yeah. I haven't read that one, but I know.
Yeah.
Modiphius.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mutant Chronicles is bad enough.
Is it really?
Infinity.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's full of errors.
Well, we haven't read that one because we don't.
I got it on Bundle of Holding, and I have it down there, and I printed it out on Lulu, and I was like, okay, this is actually one book so far, because I flipped through it and it didn't do the they pronoun thing. I was like, I think I can handle this book.
No, it does that, but the rules are really confusing. They will
Oh.
say something in a part, and in another section they will say it again in a different way.
You probably have to learn. Have you got Conan?
No, Crafty, one of our longtime members, and he supports us really well. He loves Conan 2D20. The only 2D20 game I have is Mutant Chronicles.
So you should read something before, because you probably can't. Well, you can, but it will be much more difficult to pick up those rules.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because Star Trek is not the same thing. It's,
no. The reason
different.
this is difficult is because instead of being written in an informational style, like a rule book should be, it's written in a narrative style. Like you are listening to a Starfleet admiral tell you the rules in a casual, conversational style. And that is not the right way to pass information to somebody else. The rules should be written in a technical way. This one is not.
Boring.
So
I was
really
told like
hard.
technical manuals are boring. Right. Rules are boring.
Exactly.
Yes, that's correct. Rules are supposed to be boring.
I didn't write the rules part on my scenario, so Miguel did, and someone else, because I don't write rules.
Neither do I.
Scenarios are going to be a different story. Scenarios are going to involve a much more narrative flavor.
Yeah,
just
it's a
because,
scenario, so it's
yeah.
just the story and then some rules to adapt grim dark to it. So
Cool.
I hate rules.
Good. More people need to say that too.
Yeah. Well, we hate rules here. That's a problem we have. We aren't the right kind of nerds. We are very.
Yeah, we're not math nerds.
No.
Don't tell me what to do. I'll do it.
I remembered I was game mastering Witcher, and the rules are awful. And then we got into a lot of combat because Miguel's character was doing a lot of fist fights, and I just hated it. So I just let's just each of us will launch a roll of dice and let's see who gets higher. Just wins the combat. I'm sick of this shit.
I've done that. Well, I had a different game master, but a dungeon master of mine a long time ago did that for Dungeons and Dragons. He's just like, I don't care what the rules are. It's going to be 50-50. Everything starts at 50-50 chance. I don't care if you roll a D6. I don't care if you roll a D20. I don't care if you roll a percentile dice. You roll what you want to roll, but everything starts at 50%. And I'm going to add modifiers on based on what's happening. And we just play it that way. But we still had the same character classes of Dungeons and Dragons. We still had the books, damage would still be whatever damage said, but the attack rolls or skill rolls or whatever was always 50%. And then he'd modify it based on what we did or what was happening around us.
I hate combat.
Yep.
Well, there are a lot of game systems out there that are considered rules light, especially for combat. And in my opinion, if you have to modify the game you're playing, the actual rules, you have to modify the rules to that extent, you probably should be playing a different game. Find a game with rules that you like, you'll probably have more fun in playing it. So there are a lot of which we've reviewed. The recent ones that I can remember are Warrior, Rogue, Mage. It's a three. There are plenty of 3-stat systems.
Big Bessem's 3-stat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Big Eye, Small Mouth. If you want a cartoon anime type thing, that's your game. Very easy.
Easy to play. Character creation, but the benefit. But the benefit is you can make whatever you want. It's anime. If you watch anime, like anime, if your favorite anime character, I don't care if it's a ball of slime, a cat lady, or what else is there in anime?
Giant stompy robot.
Yeah, giant stompy robots. You can make it in Bessem.
Yep. And
this is what we've been using. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, actual fucking monsters. Yes.
This one is.
You love Grim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is very, very simple.
Very simple, exactly right. And there are plenty of games out there that are like that. But the problem is, what I found, is that when the mechanics of a game are simple, usually there's not a whole lot to world building that's given to you. There's not a whole lot of fluff. There's not enough fluff to make me feel immersion.
That's why
It's
Miguel
very-
writes scenarios.
But there's one
Yeah.
exception to that. When Heathen Dog's done explaining that, there's one exception to what he's saying that I found.
Okay, yeah. There most games, if they're really easy on the rules, they're very light on the world building.
Yeah.
And games that are very heavy on the rules are also very heavy on world building. That's the trend. That's the trend. There are exceptions on either side, of course. And Max is going to give you one right now.
Oh, all the Year Zero engine games. Like I love Free League's Year Zero engine, whether it's the Mutant series, Forbidden Lands, Coriolis, Alien, Vaesen. They all break that mold because it incorporates all those facets. It incorporates your combat. Combat may be simple. Skill rolls may be simple. In most of the games, there are 12 skills for your entire character. 12 that cover the gamut of the entire game, but it's done interestingly. And again, there are little tweaks. Each one tweaks it just a little bit. But whether it's Forbidden Lands world building, it's a literal hex crawl. To give you the map, you don't know where anything is. You roll. It's almost like having random encounters everywhere. Like, oh, we came across a crypt. Put that on the map because there's now a crypt at this location, and you can choose to explore it. But then it also builds in the stronghold. So normally in Dungeons and Dragons, you have to be level 9 before you can do that. Well, Forbidden Lands starts you right off doing that. So you have your in-character combat, you have your social conflict, you have your exploration, and you have your stronghold building all wrapped up in one game session every time. So it will everybody at the table is going to find a place to be. And in some of the games, it specifically says this is done in character. Obviously, like your social combat or your actual gameplay. But the stronghold building, like do that out of character, and it gives even the people who don't like to role play so much that ability, like, hey, I can have fun. Sure, I'll put up with that, but I can have fun doing this. Just like the other people, like, well, we got our role playing done. All right, let's go build the castle, whatever.
Yeah, we played Mutant Year Zero.
Okay.
But it's not how it's called in that one. I don't know if it's the vault or is because you also built something there.
The vault.
It's
We playing
Arcology or whatever it is. It's like the Ark.
Oh,
I don't
are you
remember.
playing
yeah,
Mutant?
it's Arc. I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
Arc.
you create the arc. Yeah, okay.
Yes,
So
you create the Ark. So yeah, it's more or less the same. You start
Yep.
at the beginning.
but then Coriolis, which is the science fiction version of that game, you're building your spaceship. So I mean, every one of them has incorporated that in, and I absolutely appreciate that. So the mutant, I like Mechatron and GenLab Alpha because I'm weird. I like robots and mutant animals. So
Yeah, he
We
likes
played-
anthropomorphic animals a lot.
But you can play that on Mutant Year Zero, right? There's the campaign when you can
Yeah,
play
that's
fluffy
something.
animals. that are
right,
killers.
what's awesome is Mutant Year Zero is like the main world, and the other three, I don't like Elysium. If other people like it, that's great. But between GenLab Alpha, Mechatron, and Elysium, they have what I guess you'd consider like prelude scenarios. So you handle that before you come out to the real world, which is where Mutant Year Zero takes place.
Something we haven't played yet. I don't know the rules of it, but it has a lot of setting. The Genesis.
Oh,
the
DeGen.
Genesis.
I know you
Oh,
like it
I-
too.
we have a love-hate on Genesis. Number one, love the world building in it. It's absolutely amazing.
The art,
So
holy
much
wow.
time and
Yeah.
oh yeah, you can tell a lot of love was put into building the world for this game. A lot of love. Blood, sweat, and tears were put into this. And in doing so, it became very complex very quickly. And I don't know if it was I doubt it was my idea because I don't usually give myself this much work. It's probably Max's idea, but they have clans in this game, about 15 of them, somewhere around there, right? Where you start off as your character belongs to one of these clans, and that's where you start off, and it tells you your basic idea of how the world works, how you would what your family's like, where in this fictional Europe you are actually from, stuff like that. Well, I'm going to blame him. He wanted me to do a small overview of all the clans, like 5
to 10 minutes each. Yep.
on each clan. I got so much crap in the comments. I got so much vitriol in the comments because no, you missed this. No, you missed that. That is not how it really works. You have to dive deeper. And my answer is, man, I had to squish 40 pages into 5 minutes. Some stuff is going to get by the wayside. Some stuff is going to get left behind. All right. That is how it works. I'm trying to give you a small little taste of all 15 clans. I only have a half hour.
Well, you know what's good about that, though, is that shows the passion that the people have for the game.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, some people got on there and you can tell they weren't irrationally upset, but they were
one
mad
was
at,
one. I think the guy that went after you with the nomads or whatever it was. Yeah.
But most of them were a little ticked off that I did not give their clan the love that they think it deserves, which shows a really good fan base. True. But it also shows a misunderstanding that I only had 5 minutes.
Well, and there's 2 thick books, one just for the background lore and one for the combat. But combat's simple. I don't even remember why the combat book took so much. It's just rolling it's a D6 dice pool system. If you roll a 4, 5, or 6, you win, and if you roll 1, 2, 3, you don't. I mean,
I think there's a lot of setting there too. I haven't read it. I have those books there, and
because they're pretty.
Oh, they are.
The whole collection.
Yeah.
You can't see it because I have it above my Ultimate Dungeon Train up there, but the big black box that it came in sits as a centerpiece on my
top of his
bookshelves there.
You have a very big collection behind you. I was looking at
Thanks.
it. Yeah.
That's used against me though sometimes. Like, oh, you play too many games, you can't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Which doesn't make sense at all. Like, no, you have too much experience. I don't trust you.
So when you started playing?
Oh God, how old or what year?
What year?
What year? Okay.
If you can remember.
84.
Yes, got you by a year.
Yeah, you do. Well, you're 2 years older than me. Shut up.
Yeah, but you started playing consistently, right? So I started playing in 1983. Technically, I played a game of Dungeons and Dragons in 1983. My parents found out. I was raised in a Lutheran church school. So, well, I mean, I had mom, but I mean, I went to a Lutheran church school. That didn't last long. I played Dungeons and Dragons again a couple years later. Again, was told that's bad. I have to memorize more hymns and Bible verses. But I was allowed to play BattleTech, Battle Droids at the time, but BattleTech, Robotech, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, there was no satanic magic in there, so that's
was that the consequence of the satanic panic?
Yes, 100%. Lutheran school said no.
Yep.
So you can play robots, but not magic.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Science is fine, but because do not go against God with that summoning nonsense and that.
I'm sure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would have been considered bad too, except for I kind of caught that at the end of the time frame, right? When nobody really cared much anymore. And then I got into 2nd edition AD&D in my freshman year of high school. So or was it, I don't know, one of those early years of high school. And from there, I just stuck with 2nd edition D&D because that's what everybody played. So played some basic, some 1st edition. Don't remember, more basic than 1st. But then from there, I was like, yeah, D&D is fun and all, but what about that game? What about that game? And what about that game? So we started playing Shadowrun and oh my God, I can't. Twilight 2000. Palladium, of course, we'd already been playing some of that. I'm trying to think of some of the other games that I played back then. Oh, Cinnabar, worst written game ever. Even worse than the book that he showed you. If you ever get your hand on the Cinnabar book, yeah, I mean, we just played a whole ton of different stuff because I liked the idea. Oh, Fastest Star Trek. That was another one we played quite a bit. Then I joined the Air Force.
Yeah, when I started, it was AD&D 1st edition, and between 84 and 86, I was a junior member of the group, because I was too young to actually be taken seriously. And then after that, when I got enough knowledge, I was able to play regularly. And then when I got older, 12 to 14, I started to branch out just like Max did. I played Shadowrun. I played Marvel superheroes because I was really big into comic books. When I was an early teenager, so that was super fun. Palladium. What else? Crap. Then after I got older, about 16, 17. World of Darkness came out, played a lot of vampire and mage, didn't like werewolf that much.
That didn't hit for me until I was already in the Air Force.
Yeah, and then Call of Cthulhu,
Mm.
which I really like. I really have a soft spot for Call of Cthulhu just because the big bad is usually not shown but alluded to, and that makes it scarier. When movies do this a lot. Nowadays, movies do this a lot. If you can't see the scary monster, whatever you're imagining is scarier than what they can put on the screen. So they make you imagine it throughout the entire thing. And that's exactly what Call of Cthulhu does. It doesn't show you the big bad, just the effects and the feeling of the big bad monster. And the player has to imagine what it is, and it's always worse than in reality. So I really like that about Call of Cthulhu. Plus the game system is dirt easy. And
that's right. You just reminded Call of Cthulhu. I played Stormbringer back then because that was my Chaosium game.
Yeah, there you go.
In high school.
That was his Chaos game, right? What else? I played a bunch of one-shot stuff like 7th Sea First Edition. I played that when it first came out. It wasn't my cup of tea. Let's see what else. Oh my God, I'm blanking right now. I can't think of.
Yeah, those one shots get confused. I played a ton
the
of
one
those.
shots get lost in the.
Was it Harn, Torg? I can't remember all the nonsense games I played.
Was it 5 Rings, something like that?
Oh, Legend of the 5 Rings. But we did
Legend
that.
of the 5 Rings. That's it. Yeah,
we did that with Al.
Right. I wasn't super fond of that either, but it was okay. It was all right.
I started in '89. Here it was it was the time when the first and only role-playing game was translated into Portuguese. It was the Menzer edition of Dungeons and Dragons, and well, after that, I don't think anything else was translated except for Brazilian Portuguese. There's a lot of things translated into Brazilian Portuguese, but I've never bought anything because well, it's preferable to buy in English.
It's not our Portuguese.
We have a problem.
It's not our Portuguese. Oh, that
yeah,
sounds
it's different. Yeah. They use different words and different grammatical structure. It's like English and American English, but even worse.
Even worse. Okay, yeah, I've actually heard that about what was it? Spanish and then Latin Spanish. Like Mexico and Mexico. I don't know what that sounds. I'm gonna say it anyway. Screw it. Mexican Spanish and Spain Spanish.
Yeah, though I prefer Mexican Spanish. I can understand it a lot better.
It's funny about my friends.
Yeah.
My friends from Latin America, they always say that Mexican Spanish sounds manly and Spain Spanish sounds like they're gay. It's like, okay.
Feminine.
No, I'm using their words.
I know using their words. Okay. Now that actually brings up a question, Miguel. You are Portuguese by family, but did you grew up in Europe, or was it you grew up?
No, we are in Europe. Yeah.
You are in Europe now, but
in Portugal.
Grew up there or moved?
No, we grew up there.
Yeah,
grew up in Europe. Okay. So your family is from Portugal, but you yourself grew up in Europe. Pretty much.
Portugal is part of Europe.
Yeah.
No. I meant more northern Europe. So.
Oh, okay.
No.
No, not at all.
No, I was always in Portugal. I never.
Always in Portugal. Okay, hang on. Because when I tried to get myself to what do you call it? Pronounce your name. You were very like, well, it's Portuguese, but it's said in the more European way. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, I meant.
Is it like a different?
No,
because
northern, southern, eastern. Is there a different way to do that?
I mean, thought you were trying to listen to the name
In
played on.
Spanish or in
No,
or in Brazilian.
or in Brazilian. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
European
The
Portugal.
Brazilian way. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a
Because-
Brazilian way, and then
yeah,
there's
there
European
is a.
way. But
It's
why
different.
is there a Brazilian way? I couldn't understand that. Why is there a Brazilian way to say your name in
No,
Portuguese?
it's very different.
I'm going to
It
try to
doesn't
say
sound
it.
like the same thing.
Yeah, I'm going to try to say it. So I try not to offend my Brazilian friends that may see this. But so it's Miguel Ribeiro. But in Brazil, it can be Miguel.
Miguel
Miguel
Ribeiro.
Yeah,
Depends
see,
of the part of Brazil
that's
the
how I
person
ended up
is.
doing
You would probably it would probably easier for you to pronounce the
no,
Brazilian way because
is
it's more
easy.
musical.
Yes.
Yeah, if you listen to us speaking, you probably think that we are from Eastern Europe because Portuguese. has
Actually,
very-
I'm not gonna lie. As somebody who speaks Russian, yes,
Russian people and Ukrainian people from Eastern Europe, they learn Portuguese very fast when they are here
Yeah.
because it's very flat.
yeah.
Okay, so really, it's your name is Portuguese, but you speak in an Eastern European accent.
Yes, that's it. Well, not just me. Most people here speak like that.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
Our
Alright,
if you listen
so-
to us speaking Portuguese, it's very flat. It's a boring language.
well, I felt like that when I was in Russia because I'd listen to him talk, and I always called him John Lennon because John Lennon is always like, "And we're gonna do this, and we're gonna have our music, and blah, whatever else." And I'm like, and the Russians would always be. I'm not going to use actual Russian words right now because I'll screw them up. But like, what are you saying? Everything's going together, like in tone. Have some inflection. Do something. Nope.
There's one thing that is worse, Polish. Polish sound even
Yeah,
more,
Especially Polish TV because there's a guy dubbing everything. I don't think it's always the same guy, but it's a guy dubbing everything on the same show. So it narrates. There's not. It's not really a dubbing. It's a narration.
They don't have subs, they have a guy just saying what the characters are saying. It's very strange.
Yeah, he's talking to him over there, and that guy didn't like it. Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I've had that in my head like a worm ever since you wrote that in Discord.
Oh, you could have asked.
It said Portugal, but it's pronounced but it's it's not.
I probably didn't mention the Brazilian.
I'm
No,
like, what? It's the European way, not the Brazilian way. Portugal's in Europe.
But Brazil speaks Portuguese, yeah.
But but Brazil, but you're from Portugal, so why would I think you pronounce it Brazil? Is it northern, southern, eastern European?
He was just being racist and
Right,
thinking
and
that, that Americans think
Yeah,
we are
you speak
Spanish
now.
or
Well,
Well,
yeah,
now,
it
then-
happens.
If I were to describe it to my past self, I would say Portuguese with an Eastern European accent. That's how I would describe it to myself back then, and then it would make sense.
Yeah.
Rather than
Something like that.
Portuguese, but not Brazilian Portuguese, Portuguese with an Eastern accent, Eastern European. You said Portuguese, but with a European accent, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't get it. I don't get it. It just bothered me for so long. But yes, bring it down. You're right.
Okay, now it's explained. Okay.
There you go. And now I can.
I don't even know
sleep
what you're explaining anymore. But hey, you know what? It's Portuguese. We're good.
better. We're good.
So what's your writing, Max?
What am I writing?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
going
writing.
back. I'm
He
going
doesn't
back.
even know anymore.
Well, right now I'm focusing on what used to be. This is funny. I'm writing 4 books, really. I'm writing my game, which I stopped about 6 months ago. I'm writing 2 different versions of converting, we'll just say Dungeons and Dragons to a different system. It's kind of like an OSR thing, but I don't want to just do OSR because I'm bored of the OSR because OSR, they're all going to get mad at me. I don't care. It's just another flavor of Dungeons and Dragons. There are a few out there that are different, like Lamentations of the Flame Princess and all the pundits work. I get it. Those are different. But generally speaking, whether it's Osric for Golden Glory, that's 1st and 2nd edition, whatever, same game. It's just, you get what I'm saying. It's the same feel. It's the same concept. So I'm actually going to try to do all of that, convert that to a different game system. I kind of stopped on that because I got bored of writing spells. So they're like, I got through all the cleric spells. I'm like, that was hell. And then they're like twice as many magic user spells. I'm like, nope, I'm out. I'll come back to this later when I want to slit my wrists. But what I've been working on most recently is I wanted to write a setting for Palladium. but I knew that I wasn't. And when I'm talking Palladium, understand that Palladium is a megaverse. You can play Palladium Fantasy, sure, but there's also Rifts, there's also Heroes Unlimited, there's also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Robotech, Ninjas and Super Spies, etc., etc., etc. Well, I wanted an actual space opera. And the ones that were put in front of my face, like I have Aliens Unlimited. It's not quite there. Heathendog suggested Scrapers. No, still not quite right. And then what is your Heathendog? Like the 3 Galaxies or whatever it's called?
The Phase World supplement.
Yeah, the Phase World. And I'm just like, none of this is meeting what I want. So I was like, well, I'll just make my own setting. I've played Palladium enough. And I figured also I could clean up some of the rules, because as we were talking about before, poorly written books. Sorry, but Palladium books are not the best written books out there.
They're
Fluff, great. World building, amazing. Rules, it's like you said earlier, Sylvia, where it's like you read the rule here, but then you have to go over here to find the nuance to the rule and come back over. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I can write that better. Well, I started writing it, and then I started saying, I have house rules when I play Palladium. Let me throw those in. And then I started realizing over the course of time that I was making a different game, all told, because like I wanted to put in things that were different. I want to put in like the Forbidden Lands style hex crawl. Now it'd be for space, but you get what I'm saying. I want to add in shipbuilding. I'm taking a lot from like Stars Without Number conceptually, not in rules, but conceptually. Coriolis or the Year Zero engine, Palladium, of course, itself, which was the root, and then my interpretation put in there. So I realized I'm writing my own game again. So that's where I am with that. The rules section is pretty much done. I'm just cleaning it up and trying to figure out how to put space combat in there, because one of the things I came across, and anybody who's played Palladium knows this, is there are 2 die rolling mechanics. There's the die rolling mechanic for combat, which is a D20 plus modifiers. And then there's the percentile based skill system, which is the modifiers are not to the roll, but to the skill itself. So I don't have a problem with that. It's not hard. It's easily done. And I like that separation. I know if I'm rolling a D20, it's combat. I know if I'm rolling percentile dice, it's skills. And most skills take more than an action or a round. So it just kind of fits in. But then it came to space combat. And I wasn't able to reconcile how I wanted to do space combat, and I did not want a 3rd mechanic in the game. So I'm still tweaking that right now to get that to work. But generally speaking, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm about 130 pages into it. I've probably written about 500 pages with all the pages that I've thrown away, rewritten again.
And no pronouns.
What's that?
No pronouns.
Well, I mean, you can't get away from pronouns completely, but not in the rules portion of it. I mean, one of the things that's wrong with pronouns is people be like, "Hey, when you do this, you get that." It's like, well, you're already talking about you. You don't need to put that in there again. When you do this, this happens. It's like there's better ways of writing, more clear, concise. It's not always about word count, because although 9 times out of 10 I can make the word count smaller by taking out the pronouns. But every now and again, for clarification's sake, you're actually adding to the word count. But most of the time, no, it's like, it's hard for me to do right here. Usually when I see a sentence, I can fix it better than I can just blurt it out. I'm doing a lot of it, but it's not just about the pronouns. Palladium changes terms in the middle of a book, because you can tell that they copy and pasted it from the book, 5 years ago. But then they copied and pasted this one out of a different book, which was written differently. It's like it's got a huge cut and paste problem. And it's about organization as well. When you go through the book, I want it to feel like that book right, that nice big pink and purple, whatever, Hyperborea book right there, which is one for a thick book. It's one of the best written books out there, because you can start at the cover. To make your character, understand your character. Character is done. Here are the rules of the game. It just flows. I know some people like character creation after rules, but when you can just page through it and just feel that flow, that's what I'm trying to do with mine.
That's kind of recent, right? The Hyperborea game.
Oh, I'm sorry?
When was published that one?
Hyperborea.
Yeah.
This is 2nd edition, so I don't know for sure. I'm still waiting on my 3rd edition hardcover.
I'm not sure.
It.
Yeah,
okay.
for the cover, I think I know it. Oh, that's a big book.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it is a huge book.
I didn't know it was.
550 pages about.
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, but it's the same thing I have seen. But I know the cover.
Yep. And the one next to it, that's the player's version of it. It skips a lot of the Game Master stuff. So this is like the full thing.
I thought it was a small book.
No, not this one. The heaviest book I have is the Battlelords book. I complain about that book every time I pick it up. It's got to be like 3 kilograms when I pick that stupid thing up. I'm like, working out.
Deadlift with it.
Heathendog, do you have any game?
I do not. I tried my hand at writing years ago, and after about a week and 12 pages into my story, I realized I don't have the knack for it. I do not. I'm just not good, and I'm not going to get good. I have no talent in it, so I dropped that burden. I just let it go. So I just play and I run, and I still watch anime and stream video games a couple days a week, Thursday and Saturday on our Twitch side. Max doesn't care about Twitch because they take too much money.
Well, and they have worse rules than even YouTube. I'm surprised we're not kicked off yet.
Yeah, well, you're not on it. That's why.
Oh, no, I am every Sunday.
Every Sunday, that's right.
And Friday.
Dang it, that's right. He does that. But yeah, so I'm a stay-at-home dad. My wife works, and I raised my son from birth to 5, and then he went to school, and I clean the house. I do all what most people would call woman's work.
We have the same here, so
Yeah.
no.
I do the same.
Yeah. But the thing
Except that he takes care of 3 cats.
yeah,
Yeah,
you got
not
3 of them?
kids. Yeah.
Sorry, bro. my wife said 1 and done. But
That's not how you repopulate the earth. You have to have 3 to repopulate the earth.
yeah, well, one to take the accident, right? And then 2 to replace you and your wife. But so I do what the woman's work. I do the cooking, the cleaning, the washing, the folding, all that stuff, and she does the lawn mowing and the snow shoveling. And everyone says, "Don't you feel emasculated? Don't
No,
you
I feel
like
lucky.
not a man?" And I'm like, "No, dumbass, I feel like I'm got the better deal. I mean, women got it great. Oh my God, I'm gonna break my back picking up that big load of laundry and putting the thing that washes it for me. Oh my God, it's so hard." Like, no, I got the great deal. That's what I got, and I'm living the life. It's great. So yeah, I retired in 2007. I stopped working in 2007 because we got to the point where I paid down all my bills and all that stuff to where now I can do what I want, and if I don't work anymore, it's not going to affect our lifestyle. So I stopped working, and I got a lot of time. I had a lot of time to read. To read a whole bunch of books that I ever read for the segments that I did for the old Legion Myth live stream, and watch whole seasons of anime in 3 days. So I could do a write-up about it. I had the time to do that because I didn't work anymore.
You're very unlucky.
If I had to work 8 hours a day, I would not be able to do any of that.
See, now I work 8 hours a day. I have to do all the back end for Legion of Myth. I do all the graphics for Legion of Myth. I pay all the bills for Legion of Myth. I talk to all the people for Legion of Myth. Oh, and I have to find time to write a book. Script videos.
I make all the money for Legion of Myth, so
There we go. All right, we'll go with that. He's embezzling. That's how he got it.
Okay, so
he's like, I still have it though.
let's go back to what annoyed you at that moment that you started changing things. Well, those 3 rules you have there: escapism, not representation; entertainment, or activism. I think we need some blood here.
So that came about after we started RPG Digest, and how that came about is again, I'm not trying to lead anything. I'm not trying to promote anything. But one of the things I found out, because I follow Comicsgate also, I do not like, or not, I shouldn't say like, I don't get into comic books at all. I'm not interested in them. Wasn't interested in them growing up. Still not interested in them really. However, there are a couple of caveats. I did own ElfQuest. I would have owned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles if I could have at the time. And some of the Star Wars ones. So, I mean, I generally understand. But I started watching, and probably most of the people watching this know who he is anyway, but Ethan Van Sciver a couple of years ago when he was doing his Star Wars videos. And he was talking about what was going wrong with Star Wars. And I'm like, yep, I agree. I'm going to find out he's a comic book writer and artist. I'm like, okay, that's neat. I'm sure everybody else would have known that. I didn't care. I got to him because of his Star Wars stuff. But then I started hearing more about this Comicsgate stuff. I'm like, well, that resonates with me. Yeah, why wouldn't you make comic books that people are going to buy? Not every comic book's for every person. I get that. I don't like spandex wearing comics. Fools. I honestly, I don't. I just don't get it. Not to insult it. I just don't get it. Superman to me has never been interesting ever. A single moment in my life. It's just I would rather watch Transformers. Like that would be much more interesting for me. But at the same time, if you're writing Superman, I also recognize that Superman has some tropes that to me are inalienable. They have to remain always and forever. Truth, justice, and the American way. He's the paladin, as Heathendog would say. If you want to understand what a paladin is in Dungeons and Dragons, think of what Superman would do. And those things have to remain. And these weirdos nowadays are changing that stuff. And he was explaining that. I'm like, hey, that's the same thing that Garthon's saying on the comic polls. And that's the same thing that I'm seeing in the hobby, the tabletop role-playing hobby. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And just over the course of watching him and some of the people who he has on his show for, 3-4 years, he keeps talking about, what Comicsgate is. It's treating customers right. It's keeping, the politics out. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't have politics as a generalization in a comic book, but you keep the direct Orange Man bad or lock her up or let's go Brand and all this nonsense. You don't put that in comic books because you're alienating half of your customer base. And I'm like, yes. And then I'm looking over at books that I'm getting now that have weird pronouns and nonsense in them. And I'm like, yeah, this is what's happening in the hobby. So our RPGate came from that. And I don't think anybody else was. I think we were the ones that actually, expressed it first, where it's like, well, what does Comicsgate talk about? It talks about get rid of this representation. Yeah, I can get with that. Games are supposed to be escapism, not representation. There was something going on in the news at that time about, activism. It's all about activism. Your entertainment isn't good entertainment if it doesn't have activism. All right, how about let's have entertainment over activism? And then this one's outside the scope of Comicsgate, but one of the big things that I kept seeing in the hobby is like all this, if you don't have at least one POC, person of color, one or two LGBTQ, including at least one trans person at your table, you need to stop your game right now and you need to go find another table. Okay, time out.
That actually happened.
Yeah. I want to say, I'm not going to say the website in case I'm wrong, but it was on a very popular gaming website out there, said, you have to do these things. I'm like, okay, stop. You will play with whoever's around you. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care, look, I was going to flip the script here for a moment here, but let's just say, because I see Miguel on top here. So let's say I see, you're a guy and Sylvia, you're a woman. Now, if you're to flip that on me and say, no, actually, I'm a guy and I'm a woman, I would say no. I would say directly to your face, no, because you look like a guy, you sound like a guy, you act like a guy, and you look like a woman, you sound like a woman, you act like a woman. I am not going to change that for you. You have to present it. I'm not going to guess, and I'm not going to let you change the definition of terms on me. So, but outside of something like that, I don't care what you do, who you sleep with, who you vote for, what you do for a living. None of that matters to me. What matters to me is that we're sitting down at a table and we're playing games. So we came to organic diversity, because diversity should be organic. It shouldn't be a checkbox. Excuse me, but we need 2 more black people in here. No, it should be who you have around you. I came from a high school in Minnesota that had like 2,000 whatever people in there. We had 3 black people total in the entire school. One of them was a gamer nerd with us, but the thing is, you just play with who's around you. And that's what and then the natural inclusion is, you just naturally include everybody. Just who cares? As long as the person's okay with 1 and 2 of RPGate, as long as the person isn't disruptive at the table and just isn't a general jerk, showers, at least every other day or something. Hey, play with everybody, have fun playing games. And that's what all that was supposed to be about. It's like, stop with all this nonsense where it's like you have to bring the real world into the game. That's why escapism, not representation, is number one. Because if you don't understand that this is escapism, then the other two just can't follow anyway.
Yeah, I think some people miss the point of escapism these days.
Oh, they say you can't have it.
Yeah,
I've had
bad
people
for
argue
you.
with me. Yeah, you can't have escapism. It's all around us. Everything's around us. Like, what do you mean? I'm
That's
playing
why I
this
want
game.
to escape.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Just by going on Twitter, you have all that people playing role-playing games, but they are, well, I'm not sure if they are role-playing. They are talking about a lot of subjects, but usually it's
Nonsense.
it's the activism part, but not, and also the designers. There are
Oh yeah.
lots
I
of
mean,
them.
that's one of the things we railed on. So I had a recent conversation with somebody from FASA Games, and I just want to say, I'm not going to mention the name, the gender, or anything in case this person, gets ostracized from it. But it was a very good conversation with somebody from FASA Games. And what I found interesting is that not everybody at FASA Games is as weird as, we'll just say, the designer of Earth Dawn, because Earth Dawn is my favorite game. And what really angered me about the whole Earth Dawn thing, first of all, it's my heartbreaker game. That was the game where the first they, them I came across. Because the first two books were written normally, and then all of a sudden the third book came out and everything had changed. Like, whoa, this is like, what's going on here? These books don't even read the same. I looked it up, and the line developer said, yes, that was done intentionally because we want to be gender neutral. And my first response is, I'm a technical writer. I write gender neutral all the time, and I never need to do nonsense like that. Well, what's going on? I started to research it. And that's when I find out that that writer also signed the October Surprise, if you know what that is. Did you? You aware of the October Surprise was when a bunch of game developers went out and said, we stand for Joe Biden. We will not vote for President Trump. President Trump is evil. Joe Biden is great, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to know that about my game designers. Flip side, I don't want my game designer to come up wearing a MAGA hat going, MAGA. I don't want any of this. I want you to write your games. And so I'm just looking at this October Surprise, and of course, there we go. 3 people from FASA Games down there. All 3 of them write for Earth Dawn. Yay. So, I mean, they just keep throwing this nonsense out there. And as somebody who was kicked out of a game back in 2002 over my perceived politics, because I didn't tell them who I voted for. I don't know. I just don't want to see. So that's the whole get the real world politics out. Yes, politics is in games. It should be in games. You have to have empires, and you have to have kingdoms, and you have to have freebooters, and you have all these things, and they are grounded in reality. Yes, because that's how humans tell stories. It doesn't matter. Even Beowulf, with all of its craziness, is grounded in some sense of reality. It might be hard to find sometimes, though. But you don't talk about Brexit. You don't talk about Ukraine. Those don't belong in Dungeons and Dragons or what's Dungeons and Dragons? Oh, the new one.
Yeah,
slavery. We're removing slavery from our games. Who's the bad guy then?
Yeah, you're just removing conflict. And Grimm actually came on our show and said this. Without conflict, you can't have a story.
Exactly.
So if you remove all of the evil things in the game, there's nothing to rail against. So now you're just folk. You're no longer heroes. You're just people walking around with a sword doing nothing.
Because everything's about the individual.
You can always work in a coffee shop.
Or a barista. That's exactly. Or
I surprised him with that one. That's one of them he got mad about because I didn't tell him about that one. It's like, by the way.
I hated that. He didn't tell me that we were going to talk about that stupid barista adventure. That retarded thing. Oh my God. That is the pinnacle of removing all interesting things from an adventure.
I think they can do worse.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't say that. Please don't say that.
Starbucks. I have never worked as a barista. Why do I want to play a barista?
Oh, and remember, you get experience points for how well you serve coffee or whatever it was as well, like how many orders you take in.
Well, if I play that game, I expect minimum wage. Damn it.
At the table.
Pay me for that.
Hey, go work in Seattle. It's $15 an hour there.
There you go. Seattle wages, baby. I want Seattle wages.
Yeah, but if you want to play that adventure, go and play that adventure. But you will be made fun of.
Yes. Yes.
And you know,
It's
no,
like-
that's perfect. I am so glad you said that, because that's exactly how I feel. And one of the things, like, look, you can do what you want at your table. Look, all of you out there can think of me what you want. I don't care, because I'm not concerned about what you think. I'm only concerned about what one person in this world thinks, and that's my wife. Outside of that, I couldn't care less. So do what you want. But this whole thing, like, mockery is bullying. No. Sorry, pal. I'm not giving into that one, because, you know, I have a saying, mockery is not hate. Well, you're doing more than mocking. You're insulting. Oh, I'm going beyond insulting. I want to belittle you to the point that you hide back under a rock.
Yeah.
Because
shame needs to be brought back.
Absolutely. Shame needs to be brought back. And you're the ones that are in the wrong. So not us. So yes, absolutely. Make fun of people who play at coffee shops, unless you're a dad with your 6-year-old daughter, then you should encourage it. You know, but if you're doing this as, like, you know, 25-year-olds, just like bronies. When I went last time, Heathendog and I went to Gen Con. I don't know if he remembers this, but we were following that brony for a while. And Heathendog was just shaking his head the entire time, like, dude, I got to say something. You know, I got to say something. He's like, you're going to get kicked out. I'm like, I might. It's just, grow up, people, grow up.
Yeah. Again, you remove all of the things that are considered unsafe, and the only thing you can write are adventures that are boring, because they're not even really adventures. It's just clocking into Starbucks.
Well, they only tell stuff about themselves. They sit around the table and talk about themselves.
No, we don't care about you. We care about your character.
Well, even their character, but I'm sorry, they're in character, they're cosplaying, but they talk about their characters and getting around town and just, you know, helping the neighbors out. Like, how is this adventuring?
How is this exciting? How is this fun? You know, I mean, you don't have to go and slay ogres every day, but my God, man, 2 sugars, please.
It'd be a good time.
You got it wrong.
2 sugars, please.
No. Dumb.
And they are doing it wrong, because we were play testing one of my future scenarios, which is a zombie apocalypse in a beach resort, summer resort. But
In
Old
Portugal
zombies.
in the 80s.
Okay.
No, it's Sandals. Sandals Resort.
and something like that. The first 2 game sessions, there was no zombie there. We were just playing basically their regular life, but we were having fun, and it wasn't safe. Really, it wasn't safe. We were not going to show that, because we played in Portuguese, so no one will understand. But it wasn't really safe. But it was fun, and it was
As a side, or as something you do in between hacking stuff up, because, you know, like you said, there'll be zombies there eventually.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with role playing or, you know, engaging with the town. In fact, I encourage it, as long as you're not trying to engage with literally every person in the town and taking up all the time.
Right.
But
It should only be a setup to the actual adventure. All of that is a setup to then pull the rug out from under you, and in your case, throw in zombies. Like, everything's going great. I'm drinking. I'm cavorting around. I'm having a great time. I'm on vacation.
getting to know certain personalities in the city, or in
exactly,
the
right?
resort.
You
Yeah.
know? And then here come the zombies. But if your entire adventure is just the vacation,
Yeah, drinking pina coladas by the pool. No.
yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah,
We're gonna play shuffleboard. Who won
Who
shuffleboard?
won shuffleboard? That's the adventure of the day. Like, no, man, I want to throttle you.
Yeah, but on the end of the yesterday's session, we were kind of, so where are the zombies coming?
There you go. You're waiting
were
for the zombies.
zombies.
Like,
Yes,
okay,
there
I've
were
had enough
zombies,
of
yeah.
the Mai Tais. Yeah, I've had enough of the shuffleboard and the drinks.
In
with
'85
umbrellas in it.
in '85 in Portugal, nobody knew what zombies were. So there were zombies already, but nobody recognized them. They thought they were crazy people.
Drunken tourists.
Yeah. So
Drunken tourists.
there were
Oh
They're
my
zombies.
Americans.
God.
They're Americans.
That is
Or
British
British.
humor right there. That is British humor. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Shaun of the Dead ended up being like that. It started out that way. Shaun of the Dead, where with the zombies in the beginning of the movie were indistinguishable from just regular drunken British folk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and subsequently ignored until it was too late.
There's another movie in Cuba It's Juan de los
Juan.
Muertos, well, one of the Dead in English. It goes even a bit further because the government says they are political activists, they are dangerous, fighting against the regime. So the zombies, I mean, so
Yeah.
people ignore them. They are just, well, they ignore them, ignore the fact that they are supernatural creatures. They're just
troublemakers.
yeah, troublemakers.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Let's flip that script. Now you can have politics in your game.
Yeah,
Make the
it can,
politicians the zombies.
yeah. Well, but there are politics inside a setting. There are, for example,
Yes.
Star Wars. There are politics there. There's
Yes.
the Republic and the rebels. So it's politics.
Right.
but not
Right. The
real
Republic.
world.
The Republic are a bunch of terrorists, and the Empire, Uncle Palpatine, is our true Lord and Master. Because I don't want to get lightning bolt.
and that's fair, but you don't have to alter the politics of your game to reflect real life politics. That's just dumb thinking.
Or accuse somebody of oh, that's just a Trumpian realm, or that's just that's fascism right there. Well, maybe there is a fascist realm. Like maybe there's a reason for that realm being fascist. It could be I don't want to say a good reason. There could be a logical reason, or there could be it's the enemy. You know, whatever.
Bad guy. Guess what? If you do it right, you get to overthrow the fascist regime.
Well, no, you had fascism in your game. I quit.
Oh, well then, bye. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
With fascists, you can feel safe, right?
Right. Well, that's the modern day bogeyman. Like everywhere, there's fascists under every pillow. What was it that we said during that John Battle thing? It's like you can't sneeze and catch fascism or something like that. like.
That was a weird thing. That video.
Yeah, if it quacks like a duck, and it's a duck.
And the way it started, it looked like a documentary, but then.
Well, that documentary is a true documentary. I'd seen it before. But it's also an outlier. Look, Dr. Jordan Peterson wrote a book that pretty much said, or had I don't know if it's part of a book or I know the concept of it. Basically, it's you would be a Nazi if you think about it. When you look at all that pressure around, you know, we all want to sit here and say, well, I would stand up against it. Would you though?
No, you'd be dead. I mean, you know,
you would think about saving your family, yeah, and saving yourself and not doing the right thing.
Yeah, you would run. You wouldn't stand up. If you really were going to do something, it would be run away, because you know, your own kid could sell you out because you had to be in the Hitler Youth. Your child had to be indoctrinated.
And
so
Stalin was even worse.
Yeah, your own kid could sell you out for seditious thoughts.
Yep.
And then he gets put into a real good German home, and you get put with a bullet in your head out in the back alley. That's pretty much how it works. So you would run. You wouldn't stand up.
Where's mommy? Oh, she's out. Oh, she's working on the farm.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, standing up to an established fascist regime means you're standing up just so the snipers have a better shot at you.
Yes, some people do it, but most people don't have the
right.
Some
the
people
guts to do it, and people like to think, "No, I would be the one."
No, you wouldn't. No.
Let's put it this way: we all want to be that person, and to be fair, or at least I think we all do. I think we all want to be that person. And when you're playing a game like Dungeons and Dragons. Well, fair. But when we're playing a game like Dungeons and Dragons, we can exemplify that better. We can try to stand up against the fascist regime because we're built, if maybe not at level 1, because we can have this argument, but you know, maybe we're not a hero at level 1, but we want to grow into that and we want to subvert, and we can do it safely. Oh my God, I used an S word for Dungeons and Dragons because one, it can't happen to us. And secondly, if my character dies, I'll roll up another one. So you don't have to bring these real world save the whales things. Guess what? Japan still doesn't care about whales, but you love their anime. It's weird, you know?
Yeah, R. Kelly probably still loves to pee on little girls, but you still listen to his music, right? So it's all hypocrisy. That's pretty much all it is.
Virtue signaling. I wouldn't even call it hypocrisy because they actually have to stand for something to be hypocritical. It's just virtue signaling.
So, but they keep on publishing these things and either comics or role-playing games, and they still are doing those movies.
the new season, the Lord of the Rings series.
Yeah, for example. So why they keep doing? Aren't they getting economical troubles? Yeah.
Well,
Hang on. Here's the whole thing. The movies and TV show thing is going to blow over with the whole woke thing. The reason being is because movies and TV shows have to make money. They have to make money. They have to get advertisers. And people who advertise on woke shows, companies that advertise on woke shows, don't have a lot of money. So the TV show is not going to make a lot. They're not going to be able to pay the actors a lot. They're not going to have great effects. They're not going to have the ability
look
to
at
move.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, oh yeah. Doctor Who and the last season of Supergirl got super woke and then got canceled. Why? No money. Doctor Who, it could single-handedly bankrupt the friggin' BBC because it's not making any money. Because it got woke. And no one wants to put money in it. The people who do don't have any.
Have you watched any of the new Doctor Who with the lady?
I watched half of the season.
Oh.
And then I was like, this is literally written against me.
I stopped 2 doctors away.
You stopped 2 doctors away? Okay.
Yeah. When what was the
Matt Smith?
Matt Smith, yeah, I stopped
I didn't
watching
like
when he
Matt Smith,
joined.
you're right. Yeah.
So
I didn't like
who is the
Matt Smith.
doctor now?
Oh
It's
God,
a
what's her
woman.
name? She was a chick in Broadchurch. God, I can't think of her name, but if somebody to say it, I'd know what it is.
It's still a white woman.
Oh, the J.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
blonde one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. See,
No, I don't know.
I
I
watched
thought
Matt
that they
Smith, but see, I watched Matt Smith because I liked Amy Pond. She was hot, and then Clara after her was hot. So I was watching for the sidekick. I did not. I mean, Peter Capaldi. I don't know.
Peter Capaldi did okay. I mean, he
think it was
did
bad
okay
writing for
as
him.
as a throwback to the first Doctor. I think he was a little bit of that.
Oh, I love Christopher Eccleston. He's still my favorite Doctor. I like him better than Tennant.
No. I mean the actual first. I mean the actual,
William
the
Hartnell.
old guy. Yeah, the super old guy in the beginning.
I thought he was more John Pertwee, but okay.
Okay, well, yeah, I thought he was a throwback just because of the age, you know,
Fair,
and
yeah.
the general crankiness.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it started getting woke, and then they got the female doctor just to have a female doctor.
Yep.
I mean
It retconned everything.
Oh my God, no! What really pissed me off wasn't that they got a female doctor. I really didn't care. What pissed me off is that for years, ever since 2001 when they revamped the series with Eccleston.
2005.
2005. Sorry, 2005 when they revamped the series. The running gag was every time he regenerated, he would look at his hair and go, "Damn, still not ginger."
Yeah.
And then he turns into a woman. Why not a ginger? Give me the damn ginger.
Because they're writing gingers out of everything and replacing them with black people.
God damn it. When's he going to be ginger? That's what he wants. Give him ginger.
But you have to say it right. When are they going to be ginger?
When is it going to be ginger? That's it.
So I generally agree with Heathendog that I just think it's going to happen a little bit slower. These companies, do you guys know what ESG is? Economic social governance. Right now, there's a lot of backing because of people like BlackRock, Blackstone, and a lot of big players, Soros Foundation and whatnot in there that are still backing. So a lot of these companies like Hasbro are still working with ESG. So while on the production side might be losing money, they're still getting funded on the back end by these ESG groups. So until that ESG stuff can be knocked out, I don't see woke going away. However, when we look at direct numbers like Disney, and we look at direct, for Star Wars and how those numbers plummeted, it all depends. You pick what you want to pick, and this is the problem with politics now, or not even politics, facts nowadays. You pick the facts that suit you, and it's always kind of been that way, but it's so much more now. You pick the facts that suit you. One person's going to say, what was that Han Solo movie? I think that's what it's called, right? Just Han Solo, whatever. Oh, Solo. The Solo movie. It lost money. Another person be like, it made billions of dollars. And it's like, well, you can't do both. But it all depends on how they look at it. And the same thing's going on now. People love the Mandalorian. So Kathleen Kennedy stepped up. Well, we're gonna do what's the High Republic or something like that. I forget. And nobody wants it. She can't even get it made because nobody wants it. It's garbage. But she's gonna try to force it in there because the Force is female. And look, if you want to make something new, let's use Doctor Who. Let's go back to this. I'll tell you what I was very much for in Doctor Who. Do you remember that David Tennant episode where he came across the female Time Lord?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was his actual wife in real life.
Oh no, yes. It was called The Doctor's Daughter.
There you go. Okay,
Yeah,
Doctor's daughter. Why not turn her into a Doctor Who or what, Doctor
spin-off,
Her
yeah,
series or
because-
whatever?
Yeah, at the
Like
end
they
of
did
that
with Sarah
episode,
Jane.
she escaped in a ship.
Yes.
She regenerated and escaped in a ship. You could actually have a spin-off with her as a female Time Lord.
Yes, and I think people would have watched it because people
Yeah,
watched
I'd have
Sarah
watched that.
Jane,
She's actually the daughter of the sixth Doctor.
the fifth
The
Doctor.
fifth Doctor. Yeah, she's the daughter of the fifth Doctor. She's got the family creed. She's got the cred,
Right?
and she has a setup episode to spin off into her own series, and yet nothing.
No, because these weirdos don't want to create; they want to take down, they want to
wanna change.
destroy. Yeah, and you can't change it unless you destroy it because there'll always be history. It's like when the people say, "Well, you can just buy first edition books." If I buy a first edition book, I'm still giving money to WotC. So I'd rather buy OSR because I'm not going to give money to WotC. If you think that it is palatable to you to go buy a first edition book off a drive-through RPG, then you do it. I'm not
Buy it
going
off
to.
eBay.
Oh, yeah,
Buy it off
yeah.
eBay.
Well, eBay's more expensive, but yeah,
But it's more
because
expensive, yeah, but you're giving money to a person who already
Fair.
spent money, years ago, gave
No,
money.
I got you.
So, yeah.
But the point is these companies got infiltrated with these people, and I don't know how it happened in the gaming world. But just to use Ethan Van Sciver, because I can't take credit for saying this stuff. With regard to the comic book industry, is apparently they came and said, "Look, we can open you up to a whole diverse audience that's just waiting for a comic book to be out there." And of course, companies be like, "That's a great idea. Come on in." They come on in, and then they start saying, "Well, that's bad. You shouldn't do that with Batman. You shouldn't do that with Superman. You shouldn't do that with Captain America. That's bad." And they start pushing people out. And somehow they take over. Now, my thing for the gaming world is that gamers have always been artists. And artists tend to be left-leaning. I don't care about the left-right dynamic or all the nuance that people keep arguing with me about now. We're going with very generic terms just to keep this conversation going. But they've always
More
been
liberal.
left. What's that? More liberal, more open-minded, more anti-authoritarian, whatever you want to go. So it shouldn't be a surprise that people coming in, because they were also in the modern times, they were also the kids that were bullied in the 80s. The thing is some of us grew up. No, I wasn't happy being bullied. Heathendog's heard this 4 million times, probably sick of me saying it, but pushed in the porta potty, lifted on the flagpole, shoved in lockers, put behind the bleachers, slammed against walls on a rolly table. All that crap happened even through senior high, mostly in junior, but even through senior high. The point is like, had people come to our game session to, "Oh, what you guys doing? Playing Dungeons and Dragons? Oh, can I play?" Sure. And the person sits down and starts kicking the dice, stealing the stuff, ripping our books, throwing them across the, what? That, what? No, that shouldn't happen to anybody. On the flip side, grow the fuck up. You're 40 years old now, people. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? But you're still playing. Now you're trying to be the bully back. No, just let people play games. You don't have to change them. You're not smarter than the rest of the hobby. So I'm gonna stop venting now because I'm about to say a lot of bad words. So
That's fine.
I think you can.
Yeah.
Why not?
So,
I
Miguel, I have a question for you. You've written that I know of 3 of the Giallo modules
And a couple more.
that I've seen. Have you written anything more?
Yeah.
Or yeah, you have.
Yeah.
What have you written?
you stop embarrassing us with all your books when we can't even get one book out.
Yeah, but it's just scenarios or
It's,
settings.
Oh,
So
no, I can't see it. I can't see it. It's blurred. Welcome to St. Cloud. Okay. What's that about?
This
St.
is
Cloud,
a-
Minnesota.
I had a lot of that. I think there's a SoundCloud everywhere. Uh, this is a Twin Peaks thing.
Oh, Twin Peaks style, like
It's
a
an
murder mystery type
homage.
thing.
Yeah, it's a
Cool.
yeah, a ripoff.
It's a ripoff. Okay, well that's fine. You know, hey, the Simpsons and Twilight Zone did it first anyway. so don't worry
Everything I
about
do is a ripoff. But I try to mix I don't rip off just one thing. I rip off several things, and
it. Oh
then
yeah.
I mix
Yeah,
it all
you have to
together.
be creative in
Yeah.
your theft. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it.
the ripping off it has to be I disguise it with several other things. So then there's this.
What is that?
You need put it in front of you, in front of your face. No, just in front of your face. That's better.
Okay,
Yeah,
still
a
can't
little
read
bit
it, though.
better. Yeah, but now move it closer.
Slowly.
slowly.
Slowly. It's
Yeah.
got some pretty
Postcards.
patterns on there.
Yeah, this is
But
a.
I can't tell if that's English or not.
Oh, postcards
Doesn't seem
from.
so.
Ah,
Was it-
validad.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
Valida.
The
Yeah,
name is very strange.
Postcards.
Strange.
This is based on William Burroughs and Cronenberg movies.
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's kind of crazy. It's the near future scenario with
Okay.
cyberpunk meets biopunk and some psionics.
Future of
thrown in.
future.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of
Like
things.
bioengineering and cybernetics, a little
Yeah.
bit.
And
all in one.
demons.
And demons.
And some
too?
supernatural, yeah. Some supernatural
Okay,
too.
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Yeah.
then-
That is some really diverse thievery there. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Diversity free.
Yeah, I stole from a
And
lot
tons of
things.
drugs.
And drugs, yes. Also drugs. So it's a Three Giallos, Welcome to SoundCloud, and then this one. Well, there's a lot of things written, but they weren't published yet because
Okay.
Grim Jim
What
is
do you-
doing his game. So
What are you most proud of? What do you look and go, damn, that is some good stuff?
I like Welcome to SoundCloud. It was
Welcome
from
to St. Cloud.
yeah from these ones. It was the first I wrote, and by playing it, the 3 times I played it with different groups, it always went well. It went the game sessions and the whole campaign. I think it was great. So
Cool.
it's
So you like it because when you ran it all 3 times with 3 different groups, everyone was really, really into it.
yeah.
So
That's
so in your mind, it's the more successful one because everyone really was.
From my experience, it was more successful. Well, I don't know about the others because those.
I mean,
didn't test
Giallo
it.
is a pretty. I mean, that's kind of a niche. You got to have a certain
Yes.
person to want to
Well,
play that. The St. Cloud one seems. Well, you could say that's niche. I think it's more for a more broad audience.
Yeah,
Also,
broader
Yeah,
audience. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
More people
fine,
know Twin
yeah.
Peaks, even though the Giallos they can be played not as Giallos but as a supernatural game. You can play
Right.
or
Yeah.
a thriller. Just there's
Exactly. You know that
a guy with a
that's-
knife and that's it.
Yeah, that's in my review. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to stress, that you can play it in all these different ways. You know,
Yeah,
mostly
exactly.
in the historical format of the Giallo books, there was the female protagonist, you know, and stuff like that. But you don't have to play it that way. You can play it this way. Usually, there's no supernatural element, but
Yep.
you can make it a supernatural element. You know, you can do that.
Yeah, because
So
it's a
yeah,
role
I
playing
wanted
game.
to give out the whole versatility of the module, which is what I love most about it.
Yeah, in that one I mixed several things also.
Of course, yeah.
Namely, several movies that are supernatural. They have demons and demon worship. So it's a
Right.
convent.
Well, when your main scenery is a convent, there's probably going to be a supernatural.
It's expected,
element,
yes.
Yeah.
Even if it's just people going crazy and thinking they are.
I keep thinking of the second season of American Horror Story.
Mm.
We didn't get to the second one. Yeah,
I
I
don't
think we
think
gave
so.
up after the first.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
There are 2 seasons of American Horror Story I really did not like, and the first season was one of them, and the other one was the Roanoke one, and I couldn't even get through Roanoke.
That's probably why we quit after the
Yeah.
first one, especially the end. This was like, I don't want to see this anymore. I don't remember, but I know I didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't even remember it, but I didn't.
But you
like
don't
it.
remember anything.
No, I don't. I have
Oh.
bad memory. I forget everything. Well, not everything, but most things.
See,
Yeah,
that's why I got married. She's my brain.
Miguel, turn around. I'll take the knife out of your back. Turn around.
Well, if you
there we
take it out, he'll bleed out.
Oh no, we're in trouble now.
Oh man, what
Especially TV shows. I forget everything because there's the different seasons and then the episodes.
Hey,
that
but there's good
change.
news to that. You don't have to watch the modern crap. You can just go back and watch your
Yeah.
reruns and be like, "This is great
That's-
stuff."
That's
what
actually
we are
what we're
doing.
doing. Yeah.
We stopped.
That's what I'm doing too.
Yeah,
I just got done watching Voltron.
Yeah, that's kind of like saying having Alzheimer's. There's a silver lining because you can read everything again for the first time. You could like, dude, come on, I got Alzheimer's. Shut the hell up. All right.
You don't
There's
know
no
you do
silver
though.
lining.
Don't worry, you'll forget that you have it in a little bit.
No, but there's
10 second Tom.
there's in fact a silver lining because we have been not the TV shows probably because it's just but movies there are lots of movies that we can watch.
And he never remembers.
Yeah, it's not really. Well, I remember better movies. I have an easier time remembering.
This
But-
jump scare is here every single time, and every time you jump and hit me. Stop it.
Nice.
Okay, so thank you for coming, Heathendog, Legion. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm Legion. I am the entire Legion.
Max and Heathendog, thank you for coming. And
Thank you for having us.
We'll meet obviously, and well, not really on social media because you don't like social media, but
We're allergic.
Yeah, we will watch your channel, but not the live streams.
Not live. We understand. We understand.
yeah, it's a bit late. A bit late
Yeah.
for us.
Hey, you're on our Discord. That's good.
Yeah. Well, Discord, isn't it social media? I don't know. Isn't it considered social media?
Technically,
Semi-social.
yes, but I get your meaning. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing. I don't really like Discord because it looks a little bit like what is it called?
ERC,
IRC. Yeah.
ERC, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't
I
really
prefer
like that.
forums. I'd like. I've been looking at Gilded, which is like almost a Discord clone, except for it has better things built into it. But there's no way I can convince our people to go over to Gilded. Plus, it has a couple of integration issues that I don't like. But I'm keeping my eye on that one because as soon as that can integrate, Gilded is. I'm gonna figure out a way of getting everybody there.
That's fine. Well, thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for
And,
coming.
I'm a little sad that this was more about us. I want to learn more about you.
We'll invite them on our show.
Aw, I was setting you up for that. I didn't think you were going to hit it. But
We
you
love
did.
to go.
Look at that. The thing is, though, it's late.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a nap. I probably won't join, but he can.
It'd be 7 p.m. their time.
Oh, that's that's right. I actually said that earlier today. Yeah, so 7 p.m. But we do 4-hour episodes, so they're not gonna last. They're not gonna
Nah,
last.
I don't think so.
There you
Sitting
go.
back in the chair.
Like, oh, they're gonna be out. That's right. But yes, thank you for having us, and we hope to have you on soon because we want to talk more about the St. Cloud because you got me peaked on that. So we want to talk about your book. I'd love to have a PDF copy beforehand so I can read it
Sure.
and then judge for myself if it's good or not,
Oh, I will send you the
and then blast you on it in public. No, I'm not gonna do it.
I don't
You
mind.
told me this was good. I don't like it.
This is trash, gutter trash. No,
I'm still expecting people to talk about it because I don't think there was much people playing it during this time. A lot of people don't want to play online.
a murder mystery.
No, not just that, because there are people buying it, but I don't think they played it because
They're just burning the books.
probably I don't
Hey,
know.
did you get paid? If you got
Yeah.
paid, let them burn them all they want.
Yeah, I don't care.
You know what that means? They just got to buy another one.
There's just that problem because if no one is telling me that I have to change this and that, so I won't. So I will keep making the same mistakes. So I'm expecting people to say it's bad or good. I don't know, whatever, something.
You're expecting people to say it's bad. You got to have an upbeat attitude, man. You got to
I
bring
don't
that
know.
up. Yeah, I'm expecting people to say it's good, except for me. I'm going to definitely say it sucks. But everyone else is going to say it's great.
Oh, there went your copy.
Ah, damn it.
Okay,
You
guys.
actually had a guy, sorry, I'm remembering something, that bought the 3 giallos on drive-thru.
Oh yeah.
So we could put a review saying that, I don't remember what he said, that you were a fascist apologist.
Yeah.
Oh
And,
lot
God,
of the
yeah, I read
sisters.
some of those.
Yeah.
I read some of those.
misogynist and whatever.
I think
But he
Heathen
bought the
Dog got one of
books.
those
Yeah,
as
I actually
well.
brought it up, and I think I actually brought it up that I was like this guy. I mean, in the very beginning of,
Oh yeah, I
of
think
my,
so.
my review,
Yeah.
I said, listen, you if you go to an R-rated movie and you get upset at all the naughty language and blood and gore and boobies, it's your own damn fault. You know that right out of the gate, you know what you're getting with this game, and now you're poo-pooing about it in the comments. You're just stupid.
in our website for the Red Room, I picked up the a bit of the review, and then you're starting and on your review, and I mix them together. So
Nice.
it's nice.
Repurposing. I love it.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
Just make sure to link Legion in.
of course.
We will.
Well, thanks again though for having us on. I mean, I had a fun time. I don't even know how long we've been talking because I can't see a clock. All I know is I got off of work and I
Almost 2
came
hours.
here and started. Oh,
Couple
that's
of
awesome.
hours.
See,
Couple of hours,
2
yeah.
hours is nothing. I'm just getting started.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
okay,
was
yeah.
fun. Yeah, I'm feeling
You are
important.
right.
It's almost as if we are on your show. So it's like, whoa.
Yeah,
Oh, when Sylvia gets her book done, we'll definitely have to have you guys on as well, and then we'll switch it around a little bit. Miguel will just
Yeah,
have
it
to
will be
sit there. And
half. It will be
yeah.
mine and
And
his.
she wrote a fantasy scenario, so I'll probably just
Cool.
stop writing after that because she'll sell much more than I did.
It's a sleazy fantasy scenario.
You'll have to fold the laundry like me.
Yeah,
He already
I'm
does.
already doing that.
You already do?
Yeah, I do, and all that.
The only thing he doesn't do is cooking.
No,
Oh,
So he
well,
has to
I can
suffer my cooking.
I'm a worse cook than she is.
That's why God invented microwaves.
My wife
Mm.
can't cook.
I can't cook either.
All right. Thank you for having us. And
Thank you.
hope you have a great evening because now it's what, like 12?
No, it's night now.
Yeah, it's 12 here.
It's 12,
Yes,
yeah, 12,
yeah.
12:15.
Witching
yeah.
hour.
Yeah, there you go. So you guys finish up and get to bed, and we're gonna finish up with the rest of our evening. Thank you for having us. We had a great time, and I hope to see the edited version of this where I look great and Max looks stupid.
I'll try to do that.
It shouldn't be too hard because it's real.
No, you could make 2 videos out of that. You could do one where I look stupid, one where I look great, and see which one gets more views.
Actually, yes. I mean, to make me look dumb, all you gotta do is the whole where for a second there it looked like I didn't know that Portugal was in Europe.
Yeah, if I had it.
When I was trying to convey that you were talking about Brazilian and then Portuguese, I'm like, is it Portuguese?
But this,
anyway,
this is,
yeah,
this is
I
our
looked
bad
pretty
because we
dumb
just
for a minute
admit
there. So
yeah.
if you
Americans
cut
don't
that
know.
out- If you don't cut that out, you're fucking dead to me. You're dead to me.
All right. Well, thanks again, and yeah, I had a great time. Hope we can do this again.
I assure you can, of course.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.